Can you see me? Am I in here? Welcome back to the shop. So what you got is the underside of the sink here. And thank you to Blake for pointing this out to me. So the way this trough works, see the slot, this is the drain, the underside of the sink. I've got it marked out. Had to notch the actual base for it so this drain fits in. It doesn't interfere with the faucet hole, which is coming I think this weekend. And I was just really gonna silicone this in, but there is a slight wobble to it, probably due to the concrete is being uneven, but which, you know, okay, you put some weights on it and silicone it and maybe it works, but a buddy of mine, Blake, had mentioned that it may not be strong enough. You know, over time that silicone may give way, or if there's any kind of tug on the drain underneath. You know, we got a shelf here on the top side. There's a basket, it hits the drain and knocks this and shimmies, you know. So what I plan to do is I got these cool little clips here. And what you do, you can mark out. These are like under sink mounts. So these things are meant to epoxy to the underside of whatever, granite, countertop essentially. And then you've got these clips that you can put one way if you've got a lip that needs to hold on to, like that type of thing. Or you can flip them this way, basically. And they got these little wing nuts. You cinch that down to put some pressure on there. So what I'm going to do is mark these at space intervals and epoxy them in place. This way, when I do silicone this, I'll still silicone it to the bottom of the sink, but then I'm going to put these, you know, silicone and cinch them down, be nice and tight, and it'll be a good seal between the underside of the flange and the sink with that silicone. And then I could probably even come back and silicone this edge right here, make it, you know, super waterproof type of thing. So that's what we're doing today. It's Friday evening, and see if I can get these all these clips glued in place or epoxied in place at where they need to be, and let that set. I go with my son and my dad, 3 generations, going to a Hokies game tomorrow. On Saturday, they're playing University of Rhode Island, so we're making the trip down, the boys' trip, in the little hot rod ST. We'll get there in 1 hour. Not really, that would be impossible. But you know, it's a fun trip. Boys go down. You know, we're all farting in the small confined space. Stopping for jerky, all that good stuff. So we'll go down, watch the game tomorrow, be back late tomorrow night, and then be back at working on the sink on Sunday. So that's that. Let's get these marked out and glued, epoxied in, so we can get this sink one step closer to going into the house. this set. Of course, now I've got, what is that, 5 studs that are sticking out of a enormously heavy chunk of concrete, just waiting, I know, to land on the fingers or the knuckles, get lodged, and cause a very nasty infection. Anyways, that's game plan. So we'll let this set up, and probably next time you'll see me will be on Sunday. And at that point, probably sealing, using the sealer. Seal up the concrete. I probably don't need to seal the bottom, but I definitely want to do my best to get sealer in here. And I think what I'll do is, while my daughter, my baby girl, is not looking, steal some of her craft paintbrushes and put those right in there and paint it up to get some sealer in there. But, you know, I'm going to say to hell with it. I'm going to seal the bottom too. Seal that. And then I'm going to probably have to use some 2x4s to rest on so I don't bend these studs or whatever. And seal the top. And then pay like about 10 dudes to help me lift this onto the top, onto the base. Then secure, then glue silicone. I don't know. We'll figure out the game plan on the steps, but very close to sealing it and getting it put in place. I don't know if we'll be able to tackle it this weekend. I travel next week for business, but maybe the weekend after we'll be able to wrap this project up. All right. Doing a little dry fit. Welcome back to the shop. Sunday morning. My Hokies won last night. Good trip with Dad and Logan down to Blacksburg. Didn't get back until about midnight last night. And doing some dry fitting in the sink. So nothing's attached, obviously. Got the base flipped up. This is the back of the sink. Faucet hole. I don't know if you can see that. It's bad lighting. And these are all, you know, slightly cinched down to hold it in place, and it's gonna hold it nice. There's no kind of movement. But what I had to do was basically cut these clips back here because it would have been hitting this. So I just cut them, and I have to modify the wing nut. You can see here, I don't know if you can see it, I cut the wings off because I can't cinch it down if I don't. So I'm kind of cutting these wings off, and that'll hold it in place. I don't have any. I thought I had a nut, 1/4 inch nut, but when I thread it on, it's probably the wrong threads. Maybe it's a coarse thread, and these are, I mean, it looks the same thread, but maybe a finer thread. I don't know, but I cinch it in, or I hand tighten it onto it, and it basically just stops. So I don't want to force that nut on there, because then it might strip the threads, and then I'm screwed, because this thing is epoxied onto the base of the concrete. So anyhow, we're gonna modify some more wing nuts, pull everything off. I probably don't need to do it, but I'm gonna seal the underside of the sink and do my best to seal inside the slot, the drain slot, and inside where the faucet goes. I have the faucet sitting inside, so we'll do a little dry fit on that as well. We have water. Huh? What do you think, Hayden? You gonna be the first one to wash your hands in it?
Yeah, where's the soap?
Right there. Okay.
Are you recording?
First, hand wash.
It's warm.
You have no towel in here to dry off. Oh, there's one behind you. Oh. It's warm?
Mm-hmm.
I'll turn this.
You have just the right amount of hand space.
Just the right amount of hand space. Is there any leaks underneath? Try your hand. That's quite the contraption.
No leaks. Is it wet?
What, that white stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like thread sealant.
No leak.
What do you think?
You did a good job.
Okay. All right.